particularly in the Western world, where a child will leave what he's supposed to do and be playing around and be partying around. And when the parents want to correct the child, the authorities will come and arrest the parent or take the child away from the parent. Discipline has decayed. You can see the type of children they produce. That's why a little child of a teenager can take an assault rifle to school and shoot fellow students and shoot the teachers and shoot at every person. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, anywhere you are, and welcome to the show again today. Thank you for being there with us. Welcome to Discourse, where we discuss hard-hitting topics that affect the society at large. I remain your host with the most. My name is Innocent. Welcome again to Discourse. Today on Discourse, we're going to be looking at the moral and ethical decline or decay in the Nigerian society. A lot of immoral and unethical behaviors is very rampant in our societies of today. The Nigerian society is in a serious moral and ethical dilemma. There is conflict morally. To be precise, the Nigerian society is plagued by a lot of immoral actions, a lot of unethical actions. The value system has declined to the point that you can hardly know the society that you are in when viewed in context to some 20, 30, 40 years back. That is the world that we live in. That is the Nigerian society that we are in. And that's what we are going to talk about today. So if this is a topic that interests you, I will implore you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I will implore you to like our videos, share our videos, be part of this, because you are joining us to reshape our society. And so today we will dive deep right now into the topic, moral, ethics, and value decline in the Nigerian society. What can be the cause of this? What are some of the examples of the moral decline that we see in our societies? How does it manifest in our societies that the moral, the ethics of the people, the value system is already lost? It cuts across families, it goes to schools, and it goes to government at large, so that the society is completely involved. How do these immoral or unethical behaviors manifest in the societies? Number one, you have bribery and corruption. It is a manifestation of the moral decay and unethical action in the society. There is hardly any government office that you can walk in, get things done, and walk out without issuing bribe or without offering bribe to the employers who are, or the employees rather, who are in such government office. Just recently, a friend told me how a friend who wants to establish a water production company, we call it pure water in Nigeria, a water production company. He has done everything. Build a factory, put the machines, put everything in place, and then applied to the agency, NAFDAC, for approval. The stage he is right now is a stage where he is asked to give a certain amount of money as bribe that has got nothing to do with the requirement, with the regulation. He has done everything by law, but they ask him to give bribe. And I just mentioned NAFDAC. What about NNPC? What about the schools? Everywhere you go, that is what it is. It is an immoral and an unethical behavior that is very rampant in our society. Armed robbery. What about cultism? And then what about examination malpractices? These are some, quite a few though, of the immoral and unethical actions and behaviors very prevalent in the Nigerian society. Let me talk a little about examination malpractice. In my days in the secondary school, in our days in the secondary school, so many years back right now, there used to be some moral consciousness. If you cheat in an exam, in a class exam, oh, you are ostracized inside the class. You will not be suspended from school. You will be dealt with by the teacher, but among fellow students, you are seen as a nobody because you were caught cheating. Now, roll it forward to when we want to write WAEC. WAEC was considered a sacred exam. Very sacred that you have to buy your own materials. You know, in my days in the secondary school, they used to buy math set for us twice. First, when you entered secondary school, and before the time that you are going to write WAEC, you may have lost a lot of the components of the math set, so you are obliged to buy a new math set and a new 4-figure table. Why? Because you are not permitted to talk to somebody else in the class during exam. You are not permitted to borrow something from another person. WAEC was considered very sacred. But what do we have now? Exam malpractice even start from primary school now. Parents now go and enroll their children in special centers where they pay money to allow the students cheat, to bring in mercenaries to come and do exam for the students. Recently, a friend on social media told me how he went to Lekki to write WAEC for students, and that it is the parents of those students that made that arrangement. Moral decay. So you see a situation where a child will come out of secondary school, but he cannot define biology. The reason is because he never paid attention to school. He knew his parents were going to arrange for somebody to come write WAEC for him. Moral decay in our society. That's what is very, very prevalent right now. Even parents are involved. That's why you see somebody graduate from a university. He cannot sign his signature. He cannot write a check. I remember an experience when I was working in the bank many years ago. And a student of a popular university in Nigeria came to the bank to cash his mother's check. Her mother's check. She stole the check from her mother's checkbook, filled it incoherently, wrongly. Not to talk of signing the signature of her mother, but yet she wanted to collect money from the bank. Outside that, this was a student. When I saw her, I asked her, "Who are you? Identify yourself." She said she's a student. I said, "Give me your ID." Because looking at the check, you cannot see anything written by an undergraduate. You know why? Perhaps in her secondary school, she was helped. Exam malpractice. And then in the university, she is settling lecturers. That is what, so that when somebody leaves the university in today's Nigeria, you are not sure such one has graduated. When somebody leaves a higher institution, there is nothing. He or she cannot compose good English. He cannot do simple arithmetic. But if you ask him or her, he has BSc or maybe MSc, as the case may be. These are the ills of exam malpractice. And so what am I talking about? I'm talking about moral decline. I am talking about a situation where even parents are involved in arranging, in helping their children to not do well. But don't make any mistake about that. We are coming to discuss in the future, that child is expected to be a senator. He's expected to be a governor. He's expected to be the president, actually. And this is somebody that you know that the foundation is weak. That makes me go back again to that Bible verse that says, if the foundation is weak, the righteous cannot do anything. How much more of the wicked? How much more of the sinner when the foundation is weak? So this is the prevalence of moral and ethical decadence in our society, where even parents and guardians are involved in helping their wards or their children to become morally loose. In the societies where we live in right now, you also see prostitution. It is a manifestation of moral decadence, moral evil, where somebody will leave college and then go and begin to do prostitution. And the parents know, where parents gather money to send their daughter abroad to go and do prostitution. Something that you will frown at in your own house, in your own society, in your own village. You send your child to go do it abroad. No wonder hookup has become a type of work in the Nigeria of today. It is gradually almost gaining some legal acceptance. We are just waiting for when the National Assembly will enact it and the president will sign it into law so that people can be doing prostitution. Moral decay in our society. Now let's look at what could be responsible for that. What could have caused this level of moral decay, unethical conduct, and lack of values? No more values in our society. Everything we knew as kids have been lost. Every lesson we learned from our parents have been lost. Now parents no longer value their family name. I remember growing up in my village, which wasn't that big. Almost everybody knew everybody there. But in my own village, you cannot name my father as one of the rich people. We were not poor. Don't get me wrong. We were not poor. We never lacked daily necessities of life. No, we never lacked any one of them. But you cannot call my father one of the richest in that community. However, my father was determined to defend his father's name. He will always tell us, don't bring shame to this family. Don't bring shame to my name. You know, this is the kind of things we were taught growing up. These days, parents lose their children to the society to cause a menace in the society, only to bring them money. In my growing up days, parents bother what their children are doing. Yes. When your child leaves home and goes to Lagos, you didn't train him. He didn't learn a trade. He didn't go to school. And the next month he sends money to you. You are going to reject the money. When I was growing up, I'm not talking of now. You are going to find out what is he doing. I know of a parent in my community who received money from his child and kept the money. He said, anytime he comes, I will give him back his money because I want to find out what he's doing. He didn't spend the money. An old man in the village refused to spend the money because he wasn't sure of what the child was doing. Today, parents send their children to Lagos. Your child didn't learn any work. Your child didn't learn any trade. Your child didn't go to school, but you want him to come back as the governor of the state. Moral decay. No more values are taught to our people. So what factors could be responsible for it? Number one, you see that the parents have lost, or they have, yes, parents have lost their authorities over their children. The value system is no longer working. They don't teach their children values again. That's number one. That's number one reason. I remember when I was in primary school, I have shared this story with some of my close friends many times. I was in primary 2, and my mom used to buy packets of pencils for us. And so while you are going to school in the morning, she will give you one. That is the one you will use. When you finish it, then you will take another one. She will give you another one. So that means you have to keep your pencil. You have to make sure you guide it. You don't lose it. Because if you lose it, if my mom gave you one today and tomorrow you come to take another one, what happened to the one I gave you yesterday? You will have explanation to do. So one day a friend of mine in the school borrowed my pencil to write. And along the line, maybe somebody stole it from him. He lost it. I didn't want to go home without my pencil. I knew when I get home, my mom will check my school box or my school bag, and she will find out that my pencil is not there, and she will ask me. So I prevailed on my friend and said, I need my pencil back. I don't care what you are going to do, but I need my pencil back. I'm not going to go home and meet my mom and say I lost my pencil. She just gave it to me. So my friend went and borrowed some money and bought me a pencil. However, she bought me a different pencil from the one my mom gave to me. That was my bad luck. Because soon as I got home from school, my mom opened my bag and saw a different pencil from the pack. And she asked me, quickly, I have not removed my school uniform. So where did you get this from? I said, okay. My friend Jude lost my pencil. So I asked him to replace it for me. And that is, he bought this one for me. My mom said, who taught you that? This was the first question. Don't forget, I have not removed my school uniform. I have not taken my lunch. Just back from school. Who taught you that when somebody loses your thing, the person will buy it back for you? Who taught you that? Where did you learn that from? Don't remove your school uniform. There is no lunch for you. Take the pencil, go to Jude's house. Return the pencil to him. Tell him your mom say you shouldn't take. That he lost it, that's that. What is the point there? One, there are two lessons to learn there. One, the value system. My mom didn't want us to come back home with something that she didn't buy for us. She didn't get for us. I took the pencil back to Jude. Jude and the mom were at home when I brought the pencil. Jude has just finished eating his lunch. I have not removed my school uniform. The mom was taken aback. She was shocked at raising a child that way. She accompanied me to our house. She thanked my mom and she became a family friend. She became a friend to my mom. The point is, two lessons are there to learn. One, my mom was determined to inculcate some values to us. One, don't take what is not your own. Don't bring back to this house what is not your own. Two, when somebody loses your thing, sincerely, you do not have to tell the person to pay you back. Why? If the person had that thing initially, he wouldn't come to borrow your own. So these were the two lessons there. Value. But what we see today is that parents have lost that authority over their children. Children now exchange cases with their parents. They are the ones that tell their parents what they want to do. The parents have also relinquished their authority to their children. That's one reason why we have moral decadence in our society. The second reason is the influence of science and technology. Advancement of science and technology. Children at a young age now have access to the whole world. And the parents have also lost supervisory authority over the children, especially in the Western world. You are invading the privacy of your child if you check his or her phone. But you bought the phone for him. You bought the phone for her. But you are not permitted to supervise the website that the child is visiting, the type of movies the child is watching, the type of group that the child belongs to. This influence of science and technology and the liberty, I call it wokeism, that goes with it, have destroyed our society. Because children now join cults from home. Children now join gangs from home. Children can buy drugs, have drugs online. Now, in the societies where we live in, what am I trying to talk about? The influence of science and technology have a hand in the moral decay and unethical conduct that you see prevalent in our society. Then we have the influence of the media. When the media has become so woke that people are no longer told the truth, even the things that happen before your eyes, the media will spin it. They want to add political correctness to it. They want to twist it and then tell you what they want you to know. That is what they want you to hear, which in most cases is a lie. It's not true. They spin the history of the world. They spin the event happening even before your eyes. They take what has happened, what you saw happening, twist it, turn it around and tell you, believe this one. This is what we want you to believe. So one becomes a slave to the media. That's why you see that there are many of us who no longer have faith in the mainstream media. Yes, we don't watch them. We don't want to listen to them. We source for news and information from other channels because of the influence of the negative media. That is something that has added and has also destroyed the moral and the ethics of our people. Materialism is another point. It's another reason why there is moral decadence. The quest for materialism, the desire to be wealthy, get rich quick syndrome. I said it before, how growing up, if your child leaves home and soon he's already sending you money, you keep the money first, because you believe that one day police will come and say who are the people who followed him to enjoy the money, because you are not sure of what he's doing. That's no longer the case. This was some few years back when I was growing up. You can't look at me and say he's a properly old man. No, I'm not too old. You may not know my age, but I'm not that too old. But this is when I was growing up. But things have changed dramatically. That teenage boys now want to be millionaires, and that has led them to another manifestation of the moral decadence in our society. They go into cultism. They begin to do rituals. They begin to go into armed robbery and what they brand Yahoo. This is a manifestation. We shall come to that. But all these are manifestations of the moral decay because of the desire to get wealth quickly. Because there are parents who are giving them a pat on the back. Your child did not go to school. You didn't raise him well. He didn't learn any trade. But you want him to be senator. You want him to be governor. You say this one will be president. He didn't go to school. How can that be? Okay, he can buy his way to power, as we see in the society. Yeah, they can lie for him and forge certificate for him, and then he will be governor, he will be president, he will be a senator. So the desire to get wealth, that's why most people go into government. That's the reason most people go into politics. They are not really qualified to be administrators. They cannot administer themselves, not to talk of administering a society multifaceted like our own. But no, they want to go into governance. You know why? It is easy to steal public funds. It is easy to go there and get rich quickly. Today he's a local government councillor, tomorrow he's a millionaire. This is happening before our eyes. The desire for materialism, yes, the urge to get rich quick. This is one of the causes of the moral decadence in the society. So people cut corners. People do all manner of evil in order to get wealth quickly. Poverty is another cause. Poverty is another factor that is responsible for the moral decadence and unethical behaviors and the decay of the value system as we have it in Nigeria today. Poverty can make a man to do what he never planned to do. There is a study that was conducted on how terrorist groups recruit fighters, and it was discovered that most of these young men are poor. They are from poor background. They cannot boast of 2 square meals, even one good meal a day. So when somebody offered them 1,000 naira, $1,000 to join a terrorist group, to go cause mayhem somewhere, to protest illegally, or to do something to stop a legitimate thing, they will take the money and then they will go. You can see it manifest during elections in Nigeria. Votes are bought because the people are poor. Any amount of money they give you, you can sell your vote. Give them the number of your PVC. Go and vote for them because they have given you 4,000 naira, 5,000 naira. Poverty is the cause of the. So if they give you money, you know that the person is not good to be the president, but you have collected money, you are then forced to vote for them. Malpractice will happen. Electoral malpractice is one of the manifestations of the moral decay in our society. Then the final reason I will give for being responsible, the final factor I will have here, is the collapse of discipline in schools. When I was growing up in my lower school days, if a child does something wrong and is beaten by the teacher, if that child is loose as to go home and report to the parents will beat him. Are you the only person in the class? That's the question they will ask him. How come the teacher beat you? You must have done something wrong. Tell me what you did. When the student now tells, because the student is too small to tell a lie, he will tell the truth, what he did, why the teacher beat him. And then the father will say, you have to do that at school, and we beat him again. And the teacher will go to the school and commend, the parents will go to the school and commend the teacher. Say, beat him properly if he does not pass his arithmetic. That's no longer the case. These days, parents go to school to fight a teacher because the teacher had punished their child. So the teachers are afraid. They no longer want to punish a child because they don't want the parents to beat them. Some students in the school beat up teachers these days. Let me tell you the truth. Some students beat up teachers. In my days in the secondary school, corporal punishment was applied, but there was a debate. We were always having a debate on whether to continue corporal punishment or to discontinue. Whether corporal punishment should be applied in school or to be removed. Today is no longer a debate. It has been removed. It's no longer in the school system. It becomes a sin for a teacher to discipline a student who didn't do well. In my growing up days, the parents called it help. They looked at it as help that a teacher is disciplining their ward. But in these days, there's nothing like that. Teachers are not permitted to touch students. So that decline in discipline in school, that removal of discipline in school has also added. The children can do whatever they like. determine, especially these days that children go to school with iPad and smartphones. The teacher can be teaching and the student is playing with his phone. And the teacher lacks the authority to discipline that child, particularly in the Western world, where a child will leave what he's supposed to do and be playing around and be partying around. And when the parents want to correct the child, the authorities will come and arrest the parent or take the child away from the parent. Discipline has decayed. You can see the type of children they produce. That's why a little child of a teenager can take an assault rifle to school and shoot fellow students and shoot the teachers and shoot at every person. So, brethren, even as I am talking right now, you know that what we are saying is true, and it's a pandemic. It is of pandemic proportion in our society. This is what you see. It cuts across the families. It goes into school and it goes into government. You can see the government of the day in Nigeria. The government of the day is in Nigeria is full of people who shouldn't be in power, people who should be in jail. But they are now the ones steering the ship of leadership of the country. They are the ones at the helm of affairs. Ex-convicts, terrorists, people who ran away from foreign countries because of their crime, stole money from a client, ran back to Nigeria and become a number 3 citizen, the Speaker of the House, the Senate President. You know, that is the society that we are in. That is what we see. And so, what is the impact of this moral decadence? When there is a moral decay in the society, as we have it in Nigeria, you can see the impact. You can see all the manifestations, like we have mentioned, and many more that we didn't mention here. But you can see also that there is a loss of integrity of that nation, Nigeria, in this case, among in the international community. Nigeria have lost its integrity. Today, as I speak to you, anywhere you find a Nigerian outside the country, he is viewed as a criminal. Yes, sir. No respect is accorded him. The Nigerian passport appears to be one of the weakest and one of the poorest all over the world. If you carry a Nigerian passport, when you get to immigration, they will search you thoroughly. Why they may tell some other countries to go across, they will keep you there and search you, because they believe every Nigerian is a criminal. Every Nigerian is a fraudster. Every Nigerian is a trickster. He belongs to one cult or the other. But do you blame them? I don't. If you look at the Nigerian society, it is a joke, a huge joke in the international community. When you have people who should be in jail as your leaders, what do you expect? When you have people use diplomatic passport to carry drugs, what do you expect? When you have drug dealers as the leaders of the country, what do you expect? You can see that metaphorically, Nigeria is more like a narco nation. It is a criminal empire. It looks like a rogue nation because of the leaders. And that pleasure. When they go for United Nations, they don't stand with the leaders of the world to take pictures. They stand apart because they have lost integrity. I remember one United Nations meeting, or is it a Commonwealth meeting, when David Cameron was the Prime Minister of Britain and Buhari was the President of Nigeria. Buhari attended, and there was a leaking mic where the Prime Minister of Britain saw Buhari and said that there are many fantastically corrupt leaders in this meeting. Looking at Buhari there, fantastically corrupt. You can then imagine how they will perceive an ordinary Nigerian. Loss of integrity among international community. By the grace of God, I have lived abroad for some years, and I can tell you, Nigerians abroad are suffering the impact of the wrong behavior of the decay, the moral decay in the Nigerian society. Yes, sir, we are suffering it. Visa ban in this country. You cannot enter this country. You are arrested at the airport. The reason is because every Nigerian is suspected to be a criminal. All because Nigeria itself is run like a criminal enterprise, largely because of the moral decay in the society. A society that raised the kind of leaders that we have right now and made them leaders over the nation is already bad. It has decayed. That is one of the impacts. Secondly, the second impact of this moral decay is the socio-economic crisis in the society. We call it financial crime, socio-economic problems, financial crimes. You see, every young person wants to be a Yahoo person. He wants to cut corners. He wants to cheat. He believes that joining a cult will give him leverage in the society. And so he wants to join a cult. This is what is happening in the society where we live in. And it is very prevalent. Last time I checked, even young men have gone into drugs because it gives them and I don't mind they say it's the devil's workshop. If a young man grows up and is not doing anything gainful to help his life, the devil will make suggestions to him. Bad people will come and befriend him. Because he's not doing anything, he will venture into that. He will want to try everything. They end up in drugs and they destroy their own life and destroy their own destiny. But they are part of our society. And the society that cannot take care of the few poor cannot protect the many rich. So these and many more are the impact of moral decadence in our society. As normally as we do in this program, what we do is to try to profess solution. Nigeria needs a complete moral reorientation, total moral reorientation, where you will have moral education in schools. At some point it was there. I don't know about now, and I cannot vouch for now. When you see the products of schools, then you will know if they are taught some morals, ethical conduct in school. This should go back there. Nigerians should begin to teach morals from the family to the schools and everywhere. These are the core agencies of socialization, family and school. If they are taught proper things, some of the things that were taught by our parents are the things helping us today. And thank God, by the grace of God, I'm already imparting it on my children. Yes, I'm already teaching them what my father taught me, which I see is the right thing. Yes, you can say my father was a Christian. You can say my father was a pastor. That's okay if you say so. And that will lead me to the second solution to the problem. We must return to God. I know this is not a preaching avenue, but we will have to say it. Like I mentioned before, if the foundation is weak, there's nothing the righteous can do. You see, every manifestation of the moral decadence in the society, it is going against the commandment of God. These things are manifested because we disobey the laws of God. Yes, the laws of God, and it doesn't matter the religion you belong to. Yeah, we must return to God. When you remove God from the equation, it is disaster that you will get. When you disobey the laws of God, you will face the consequences. It is simple. The consequences that we are facing as a nation is a function of disobedience to the laws of God. We talk about parents losing authorities over their children. That is disobedient to parents. And God commanded against it. So we must return to God. We must teach our children this precept. Every law of every nation, every tradition of every nation is borrowed from the laws of God. Yes, sir. Believe it or not, there is no society on earth where stealing is approved and God commanded against it. There is no society on earth where it is approved to have immoral conduct all over the place, where prostitution is approved. No, the societies that approve it now want to go woke. They go directly opposite the laws of God. But you can live under the laws of God. Put yourself there, and your own family will contribute positively to the society. And if many or all of our societies go back to God, teach our children moral education, ethical conduct, teach them how to value a value system. Every family should have a value system. Teach it to your children. Make sure your children don't go against them. Don't forget, I said children. Children, not adults. You train them when they are small, not when they have grown white hairs. It's not possible to train them. Not when they leave your home to go to college. That's not when you train them. You bend the iron when it is hot. Train your children, teach them moral education, inculcate some values into them, and then raise your children with the fear of God. Teach them the commandments of God if you know any. And if you are a parent who does not know the laws of God, this is where I will invite you to join a church. a Bible-believing church. Surrender your life to Jesus Christ and learn some of the laws of God which you will impart upon your children, because God himself told us, what these laws that I'm giving you, this commandment that I'm giving you, teach it to your children. Then your children will be productive and useful to the society. Consider if a born-again Christian who has the fear of God in him is the president of Nigeria or the vice president. Things will not be as it is. Or the leadership of Nigeria, governors of states. Things will not be as it is. Local government chairmen, ministers and commissioners. Things will not be as they are. Yes. So we must return to God and we must teach our children this. This is our program for today. And I believe you have benefited from this. There are things we can do. There is no problem that cannot be corrected if only we learn and do what is right. The prevalence of moral decadence in our society and unethical conduct as is manifested is a shame to a society. We must do what is right. Thank you for being there for today. That's our show for today. Until I see you next time, please continue to follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then share our videos. Be part of this. We are trying to build a better society. Thank you so much. Until I see you next time. God bless you.